Thank you very much, everyone, for joining our Apple Regional Training Centre webinar today on what's new in iPadOS 17. So we're just going to have a few welcomes, a few introductions, and then we're going to crack on with sharing some of the wonderful things that we've discovered in iPadOS 17. But before we go any further, I'd like just to introduce my fabulous co-hosts. This is me. I'm Tim Lings, Director of Digital Learning here at Heronsgate Primary School, and I'm joined by Ralph Corrish.
Hi there, guys. Year 5 teacher here at Heronsgate, Apple teacher and part of the computing team here with Tim and Andrew.
And also Andrew Barnshaw.
Yeah, Andrew Barnshaw here, Heronsgate teacher.
So Apple Regional Training Centres, they aim to deliver courses to build the skills and confidence of educators to use Apple technology inside and outside the classroom. And they're a community who share best practice and inspire excellence through teaching with Apple technology. So if you are on the social network formerly known as Twitter, you can follow us there. We post regularly. We've also got an email address and a website, so do get in touch if you would like to. So what is new in iPadOS 17? So this is an update that Apple brought out last month or so, and actually they've got a PDF that goes through all of the different new features, and I counted and there were about 250. Now, they're kind of these general improvements across the whole of the iPad. So every little corner, they've been doing a little bit of tidying, a little bit of straightening things out. So there's lots of really nice little features in there. But what we're going to go through today is not all 250 changes, but rather some of the improvements that we think have some potential for impact in the classroom. I think we've just discovered there's all these little tweaks that you're like, oh yeah, no, that's changed, and that's a good change. So there's not like big, huge changes to the classroom, but lots of little things that all add up. So first of all, Mr. Barnshaw is going to look at the lock screen, wallpapers and widgets. It's going to be very exciting. Followed up by Mr. Corrish, who's going to talk about AirPlay, the fact you can set multiple timers, and a few little screenshot updates. And then I'm going to finish off looking at stickers, Memoji changes, and some other stuff with predictive text. So without much further ado, I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Barnshaw.
So I'm going to go through some of the changes that have been made to home screen and specifically widgets now. This is just my iPad I've got here, opening and closing as usual. So if I go back to the home screen here, so to customize the new home screen, you long hold on the front, and then you can make a new home screen looking something like this. So I'm just going to click into this one, show you some of the changes, and then we'll go through how I've actually achieved that. So this is my new customized home screen that's got this enormous zoomed in version of the Earth here with my location and live sunlight mapping, which, as we all know, is getting dark very early now, which is not so fun. I made some purple font changes, and I've got some widgets here on the side. So I've got the calendar widget, batteries, etc. And then on the home screen, I can click into these widgets and it will open up that app or whatever I put on there. So just a bit of, as I say, small change, but it's a user-friendly, just a quick step into some of those apps you might use a lot of throughout the day. So let's go through, I'll show you how I've created this. So I'm going to long hold on the front page, and then I can swipe. So that was the home screen I had before. I can swipe to the right and then click new, so add a new one. And then this is the options you have at the moment to make a new home screen. I love astronomy, so that's what my current iPad is set up to. So I've clicked astronomy here. You can switch between the stars by swiping left to right. So you can have the moon and the moon detail, and you can choose the various different planets in our solar system. Just by swiping left to right. Only the moon and the Earth, you can get that slightly zoomed in, detailed version, which I really like. So that's why I chose that. Clicking on the clock, you can choose the different color. You can make the font thicker or thinner, depending on your style. Let's go for this one here. That looks pretty cool. Same for the date above. You could change the widget there if you wanted, actually. But I'm going to keep the date there. I think it's quite useful. So let's click Add Widget. Let's just drag and drop the clock. It's always good to know the time. And calendar is also another really useful thing to have. And then let's go for events here. So I don't have anything showing, as this is just a demonstration iPad, but as our school days are very busy, I'm sure you have lots of events stacked up on top of each other there, and it's always good to have those right on the home screen, so you know what's going on, what do I need to do today, and you can, as I say, click into that and it will open up straight away. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm going to click Add Set as Wallpaper Pair, And then I'm going to click in here again just to confirm that. One of the things I really like about the Earth detail is that on the lock screen like this, it's zoomed in, and then when you open up, it does that little zoom out there. Oh, I think it did it. Oh, let me just change that actually. Let's go back to this one I had here. So it did have this Earth detail, and you unlock and it sort of pans out a little bit. I thought that was quite a smooth transition. I enjoyed that. Now, one of the ways I thought, how could this be used for children specifically? So that's very much how it can help teacher ease of life of those widgets. I was thinking, how could that be useful for children? Let's say you was studying division this particular week, which we are actually in year 6. You could preload some photos, get that onto the children's iPads, and then you could have photo shuffle, choose photos manually, and then you could select those, maybe 3 or 4 photos you thought, oh, that'd be useful for them to see in their learning. Then we can add that swirling wheel. There we go. And then add, and then set as wallpaper. And then we also want to customize this, the 3 dots at the bottom. And then with the new update, you may have seen it if you have an iPhone, that you can change that picture daily, hourly, on the clock, or on a tap. So I'm going to go for on a tap. So I think that's a pretty useful thing for the children, as I say. So let's just lock that. And every time we click open, let's close, tap changes. So every time they tap it, it could give a new picture just as a little reminder or a helpful thing for their division that week. Or, as I say, you could tailor it to the subject. So that was just a quick little tip or a quick little thing that the children could have on their iPads as well on tap. And as I say, you could make it on lock as well. So if we customize that, click on the 3 dots. So perhaps you want it to change on the lock instead. Let's click done. Let's select that so that every time they lock and unlock their iPad, it changes that background. So just giving them little help and advice depending on the content you wanted to put on there. Yeah, so that was just a few of the changes. There's many more different changes you can do with that background. As I say, you can customize it far greater now to what you could previously. And there's these cool kaleidoscopes that change each time. Yeah, just give it a bit more customization, a bit more options behind your lock screen and your home screen. Yeah, I think that was most of the features I wanted to discuss really behind the home screen and lock screen. I don't know whether, Tim, I don't know whether you've been experimenting and you've spotted any other cool things you can do with the home and lock screen there.
I think you've covered it quite well. I think it's the fact that these widgets are now tappable. So even the widgets you can add on the home screen, if you tap on them, it takes you straight there. And so there's that little bit more interactivity.
Yeah.
You can also add the original iPad wallpaper, which is a quite little geeky fact for those Apple fans out there.
I do like that. Let's see if I can find that while we're chatting away here now. Let's go. Oh, no, let's make a new one. That would be the easiest way. Let's just make a new one.
I think it's in the featured or the collections, maybe.
Featured.
Go down the bottom somewhere. Oh yeah, that one with the kind of the one after that, next one along.
Yeah,
that was the original iPad wallpaper.
Oh, a little bit of nostalgia there if you want to go.
There we go. A little bit of nostalgia.
Very nice. Like that.
Excellent. Right. Well, thank you, Mr. Barnshaw. Mr. Corrish, would you like to take it away?
So there's 3 just quick things that I want to talk about. As Tim said, none of these changes are revolutionary too much. They're just more evolutionary, just to help us out a little bit as teachers and maybe providing some useful things in your classroom. The first one we just wanted to quickly talk about was the multiple timers. Now, as a teacher, I quite often use timers, and actually there has been times where I've put the timer on and wanted to put another one on, and I've ended up doing it on my watch, or I've done it on my phone because I've been getting a bit frustrated. I was like, all right, okay, I'll do that. But I know I need to do another one. Mr. Barnshaw had quite a negative approach with it. He said that if people get sent for time out, that gives you plenty of different options. You can have multiple timers for all different children that have been sent out. But hopefully we'll be thinking about it slightly more positively. But quite often I'll give the kids some learning to do, but there might be a kid you get sent out, or there might be different children have different timers for their assessments because some children get longer. So it'll give them an opportunity for everyone to see how long each child has got. Normally it'd be a case of just put one on, and then you tell other children that how long they've got. So quite straightforwardly, we all know how to hopefully start the timer. I've got 10 minutes here, so I might be doing my maths weekly assessment, 10 minutes for the children, and I press start, and off they go. And I might have, I do have a couple of children who quite often take a bit longer. And you see at that top right-hand corner, there is the plus button. And that gives me the option to now press the plus and start a new timer. So some children get 12 minutes. So if I do that there, then both children's timers are now ready to go. And this you can use this for all sorts of things, but it's definitely a useful teacher tool, this one. Without doubt, there will be times when, as I have been in the last 10 years, where I've needed multiple timers. I've used multiple timers, but not on the same device. So this is going to be really handy for me to have on the board behind me, so the children know how long they've got for whatever they are using, or as I say, if any other little things are going on. So that's multiple timers there. Quite handy. Again, it works. I can have as many as you want going through. So very, very handy. I'm going to stop these now before they start pinging off in the middle of Mr. Lings giving us all sorts of extra information later on. Next up, one of the things that actually probably my favorite thing that I found out you can do, which is new on iPadOS 17, is to do with screenshotting. Now, we all know that you've been able to do for a long time. You can do the screenshot. Lovely, excellent. And that's always been the case. And you've been able to have that screenshot. Maybe you had to zoom in on stuff. But what you haven't always been able to do is when you are, say, online, looking at, we've been looking at some facts about Brazil recently. So I thought I'd have that up. And I was like, but I wanted to screenshot, but you might want the whole page instead of just this sort of bright start. If you do the screenshot, and then you can see now at the top, there says screen, which is what you can see here. But then you can also see full page. And all of a sudden now, it has screenshotted the entire page for me. It's not just done it, on the screen, it's done the entire page. Now, what's even better is then it does give you the option at the top there to crop it. What I'm thinking here, this is really useful because we use Shobi if my children are wanting to do some research on Brazil, and I want to give them all the information they can, but I don't want erroneous information that I don't really need. So on that screenshot there, I don't really need that little advert at the top. I can scroll down there, and I don't need this stuff at the bottom. I just want the information that I do need. So I do that, and I'm done. Fantastic. And so it brings me back to there. There's still the same annotation tools. So if you wanted to get the children to highlight, and then they wanted to highlight the information that they needed for their research, they can still use that, and they can highlight before they save it to Shobi, or I could do the same if I wanted to alert them to particular information. Maybe I wanted to highlight a particular subheading. I could do that. And then if I press done, now what's interesting is I can save it then to photos, or I could save my PDF to files. So if I wanted to save it as a PDF instead of a photo. So saving it to photos, take it to photo, or save PDF, and you can see there, I've already got one ready to go, because I tried it earlier on. So that's fantastic, and it works for the internet pages, but it also works if you were using a Pages document. So if you had a Pages document ready to go, it would have been a good idea. And then you start a new one, for example. Let's just create this guide book just so that I can show you what we're doing. Let's say this is a Pages document the children have created. Again, it works the same way. I screenshot, and instead of just screenshotting one, it's then created. Be careful because it does instantly open up with the ability to annotate. You have to press that annotation tool off before you can scroll up and down. And then all that children's work ready to go. Again, very handy if they wanted to very quickly save it as a PDF onto Shobi. Sometimes it can be a bit of a hassle trying to get the children to save it as a PDF, or because if you're looking at Shobi, sometimes If they've saved it as something that is you can't see straight away, it takes you a while to load it up. They get it saved straight as a PDF. You can look straight into it, get it marked straight away. So that's really handy. Again, save photos files, or if I do the share button, it's instantly a PDF document. I can then get it saved onto Shobi straight away from there, which is really, really quite handy. So that screenshot is a really useful tool, I think, for both the children and the teachers, in terms of maybe sharing their work quickly if it's finished, getting it saved onto Shobi as for us, or getting it however you want out there. That's excellent and really quite handy. Finally, I'm just going to delete that screenshot for now. I'm going to go up. Very final thing for me, just a very little small tweak, but I know it pleased Mr. Barnshaw greatly, in terms of airdropping. When we've tried to airdrop before, then, well, sorry, no, beg your pardon, not airdrop, screen mirror. Sorry, we've tried to screen mirror before. We've only ever had the options of like 1 or 2, and we've had to scroll all the way through. They've given a far more user-friendly screen mirroring section of being able to see far more options. And I know Mr. Barnshaw was quite happy about that, because Andrew was bored of scrolling because his class were always right at the bottom. So he's now has far less finger scrolling to do, which makes him a happy man. So yeah, 3 different things there. We talked about multiple timers, very handy as a teacher. We talked about the screenshot full page, which means it's both be good for you to give to the children as option, being able for them to do their research far easier, but also for them to hand their learning back to you far easier in a far more user-friendly way, in a far more efficient way. And then finally, the screen mirroring, being able to see far more options than you were previously able to. Again, I'll refer back to you, Tim. Is there anything there that you think needs adding?
Thank you very much. One more thing I've discovered today is that if you press and hold on a timer, you can give it a name. So if you've got different timers, you can name them as well, which is really
well.
handy.
Let's as Andrew did. Let's just. So what do I? So I hold that down. Label.
Even there where it says label. So when you're doing 1, you can just label it there. So you just tap where it says label and give it a name. But then as you add all the other timers, you can label them just as much. So if you just, I think it,
yeah, so if you go into it, then it will tell you which one it is. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
So that's quite handy. Amazing. So what I'm going to be sharing is the very exciting ability to use stickers. Now, this is something that's kind of evolved over time. And if you use iMessages all the time, stickers have been there for quite a while that you can respond to messages with a funny little sticker. But Apple have kind of, rather than that just being something you can do in messages, they've made it so it's system-wide. So anywhere where you can enter text, you can potentially add a sticker. So I'm here in notes. Here we go. I'm going to write a note. And if I just press the lovely emoji button, it then... You've got all of your lovely emojis here. This works as normal. So it inserts the emoji in line. So if you have, a melting face emoji, maybe that's how you're feeling on a Thursday afternoon, that's there ready to go. Fantastic. But if we scroll along here to the left, it's got frequently used, and there's that little sticker button, which I'm imagining is like a round sticker that someone's peeling off. That's what that little icon means. So wherever you see that, and then this brings up the little sticker overlay. So here I've got 3 of my recently tried out stickers. So you've got your emoji stickers. So these aren't just inserting an emoji, it's adding a sticker of an emoji. So it's a subtle difference, but it's quite useful. So for example, I could describe the weather today, possibly with a nice sticker there, or I can have a look through, maybe I've got a great idea. So, but what's going on here, it's not got just an emoji, it's got the image of the emoji. So if in notes, there's not a lot you can do with that. But if I was, for example, in pages, so here I've been adding some stickers, and you can see here it's actually a completely repositionable image that you can do what you want with. So that could be quite great, even just making posters or different artifacts. So often if I use emoji when I'm making a document or a slideshow, I'll have to kind of, make the text size really big so it fills the screen. Whereas if you can use a sticker, you can just take that image, make it however big you want, and you don't have to worry about it being kind of a text form. It can just be something fun to put over the top. So that's one type of sticker, but wait, there's more. You've got, there's all the different sticker packs so that you can actually go to town on the App Store, and different apps you install might have stickers attached to them. So for example, GarageBand does. So you could have a lovely grand piano. It's just useful in life, I find. So a lot of apps might actually offer sticker packs as well, which is just good fun. But you might want to have yourself. So if you look, you've got the Memoji generator, that kind of 3 different faces here. So you can use one of the built-in ones like the octopus or the giraffe or the unicorn. And again, it just adds it as a little sticker. But if you make yourself a Memoji, which I think this is quite an accurate version of me, there are these as well. And this is my second exciting addition to iPadOS 17, is there are now 3 new Memojis. You have the saint, look at that. You have the, I think this is called Peekaboo, I believe. Oh, and last of all, you have, what's the last one? This looks a little bit slightly creepy, this one, to be honest. But there are some new Memojis. So again, all good reasons to upgrade there in the Memojis. But again, these are little images you can have fun and do with as you wish. But the final thing I want to show you about stickers is you can make your own from any image. So I don't know if you knew this, that if you have a photo, for example, I took a photo of a lovely Apple mug here. The iPad can detect objects. So if I just press and hold on it, it literally picks it up, and I can pick up a mug, do what I want. I could drag it across into Pages and insert a lovely picture of a mug. There we go. That's quite impressive. But that's a little bit faffy. So what you can do instead is if I press and hold on it, a little menu pops up and I can do add sticker. And what this does is it adds a sticker to my amazing sticker collection, and then I can add an effect. So it can't just be not just a mug, but a mug on a beautiful outline. That's quite classy. Or comic stripified, doesn't work quite so well, but this is quite nice. So it imagines if you made it into a puffy sticker, maybe you remember them from the 90s, where they're like slightly raised, or a nice shiny sticker. There we go. And it shinifies it. So you can add those. Isn't that just so useful? Maybe I press and hold. What else can I do? Oh, I can just edit the effect. Maybe I could add another one. Here we go. Let's add a puffy version. Here we go. So you just get a whole range of really handy stickers that you could just add wherever you like. So here I'm just adding some text. I press the emoji button. I can go to my stickers, and I can add that amazing sticker. Now, you might be wondering, how might this be useful? Well, you could, for example, take a photo of yourself with a thumbs up, pick up that hand, and then, or in fact, yourself doing a thumbs up, and then make that into a sticker. And then you can just add that as some lovely custom, like, well done, good work. Maybe I should even try that to see if this proof of concept works. So I open up the camera. So this is me doing a thumbs up. That was a great photo. I'm sure you agree. I wonder what happens. Can I pick it up? Is it going to detect me? My two. Yeah, there we go. So it's detected my outline. And I can add a sticker of me giving you a thumbs up, maybe a nice little outline. So perhaps you're giving some feedback to a child, and you can just add thumbs up from your teacher. I mean, what more can you want in life? Okay, great. One last thing before we go is that Apple are jumping onto the generative AI bandwagon with predictive text. So not only does it tell you when you're spelling stuff wrong, it can suggest what you might be saying next. So you have to do a bit of typing first of all. So hello world. So I'm just going to do some typing. Hello. Oh, look, it guessed that hello, how are you would be. And if I'm happy with a generative AI suggestion, I can just press space. It just does it. So you have to kind of slightly watch out for this so you don't keep typing hello, how are you, question mark. So it doesn't generate whole reams or write essays for you, but it does kind of autocomplete a couple of words ahead, which this is Okay, it doesn't think that was a particularly predictable sentence. But yeah, it's just there, built in, nothing else you have to do. So that's all very exciting. So that's kind of all we wanted to share with you today, just a few little top highlights. But we were wondering if you'd be able to pop in the chat any thoughts about which features you think might be most helpful in the classroom, and then we can have a little look at what everyone's saying. But maybe, Mr. Barnshaw, what would you say is your most useful feature?
Oh, it's tough to choose from. I think the feature I'm going to use the most in class will be the multiple clocks. I think that's really, really useful feature, not just for children on different timeouts, I'd say. As Ralph demonstrated, I think giving different groups different amounts of time, or countdown to playtime, countdown to finish the work. Yeah, I think that's a really useful addition there for sure. Yeah.
What about yourself, Mr. Corrish?
The one that I think I'm going to use the most is probably the whole page screenshot. I think, I will use that quite a lot. I mean, it's similar to the reader view in some ways, but I think it can for the internet. But I think being able to get the children to upload their work really quickly as a PDF sometimes can be really handy, when sometimes maybe the whole document is quite large, and actually just condensing it down into a PDF just to save it for the teacher is a handy thing. So I think that might be the thing that I use the most.
Fantastic. A couple of things in the chat. Timers and stickers are both featured. I think stickers could be quite fun. I would be interested in exploring that further to see how that could be useful. So thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you on a future webinar, or in fact in person. From all of us, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.